When and why conservatives switched to the Republican Party. The story of how conservatives left the Democratic Party to join the Republican Party is a long and complex one, rooted in the shifting political landscape of the United States. Despite the complexity of this history, some people have tried to use the conservative defection from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party to make false and misleading claims about the political parties. One such claim is that the Democratic Party is the party that started the Ku Klux Klan, a white supremacist organization that terrorized African Americans in the aftermath of the Civil War. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Republican Party was dominated by wealthy businessmen, who favored laissez-faire policies that supported big business and is still very much the case today. This meant that the party was seen as primarily interested in protecting the interests of the wealthy and powerful. When the economy crashed in 1929, the Republican president, Herbert Hoover, opted not to intervene, earning him and his party the wrath of the American public. The widespread suffering and hardship of the Great Depression fueled a growing sentiment that the government needed to take a more active role in addressing social and economic problems. Franklin D. Roosevelt, a Democrat, sensed the need for change. He campaigned on a promise of government intervention, financial assistance, and concern for the welfare of the people. He won the 1932 election by a landslide, and his New Deal programs marked a significant departure from the laissez-faire policies of the past. The Democrats embraced a more activist role for government in addressing social and economic problems, and the party's ideology shifted to the left. This shift caused a rift within the Democratic Party, as many conservative Democrats felt that their values were no longer represented by the party. In response, many of these conservative Democrats defected to the Republican Party, which was perceived as more conservative and supportive of their values. The election of President Ronald Reagan in 1980 marked a turning point, as Reagan ran on a platform of limited government, lower taxes, and a strong national defense. These conservative Democrats, known as Reagan Democrats, were a key factor in Reagan's electoral success, and they helped to solidify the Republican Party's position as the party of the conservative movement. Today, the Republican Party continues to attract conservative voters who feel that the Democratic Party is too liberal and does not represent their values. The Ku Klux Klan was formed as a response to the efforts to protect the rights of African Americans during Reconstruction. The Klan targeted African Americans and their allies, and it was a weapon of terror used by white supremacists to maintain their power and control in the South. However, with the conservative voters switching parties from the crash in 1929, the civil rights movements and up until now, members of today's Ku Klux Klan align with the Republican Party. To suggest that the Democratic Party of today started the Ku Klux Klan is not only historically inaccurate, but it also ignores the long and complicated history of race in the United States and the role that both political parties have played in shaping it. In conclusion, the conservative defection from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party is an important part of American political history, but it should not be used to make false and misleading claims. The history of race in the United States is complex and challenging, and both political parties have played a role in shaping it. Understanding this history is essential to understanding the present, and to building a more just and equitable future for all Americans. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.